Chapter 31. That weekend, at a tall, fancy building in downtown Los Angeles, the investors, my dad, the Weekleys, Hank, Jose, and I all went in to meet with Vacation Resorts. I was hoping Lupe would be at the meeting too, but she wasn't there. There were six Vacation Resorts executives present, including Mr. Smith, who welcomed us into a conference room and shook our hands. "They're great to meet you. Thank you guys for coming in," he said. When he saw me, he leaned over to his assistant and asked, "Do we have a book or maybe a coloring pad for this girl so she doesn't get too bored?" "Coloring pad? Seriously?" "I'm Mia Tang, front desk manager of the Calivista," I informed him. Mr. Smith put his hands up. "Sorry," he said. "We don't get a lot of kids working as front desk managers in our hotels, do we?" The executives next to him all chuckled as they whispered among themselves how cute I was. My face grew hot. I didn't want to be cute. I wanted them to take me seriously. I leaned forward, folding my hands on the conference table. "So, what exactly is your plan for the Calivista?" I asked. Mr. Smith cleared his throat. "Our plan is to take the Calivista into the 21st century. We want to make it a true destination." As he proceeded to explain all the ways in which vacation resorts would modernize and innovate our motel, turning it into a high-end boutique hotel, I could see that our investors were impressed. They had many questions like how much was the vacation resorts offering, and was this going to be an all cash sale? Then Dad asked, "And what are your plans for staff?" Mr. Smith looked at his associates. "Normally, when we acquire an asset, we bring in our professional management team to run it. They're very experienced." "But they don't know our motel like we do," I said. Hank, Jose, and my dad nodded. "I assure you, once we acquire the asset, it'll be in great hands," Smith said. "We have an excellent track record." I frowned. Why did he keep referring to the Calivista as an asset? It was a motel with people who lived in it and loved it. "Everyone we hire goes through our extensive vacation resorts training. Most importantly," Mr. Smith added, looking at me and my dad, "they all have legal working visas for employment and they're all of working age." "Hey," Dad protested, "are you saying that we don't have visas?" "We all have papers," Jose added. "As for legal working age," I said, "the federal family business child labor law says it's okay for children to help out in a business their parents own or operate." I remember looking it up in the library last year when my teacher was unusually curious about what I did after school. "But if your parents no longer owns it," Mr. Smith pointed out, "then I'm afraid that rule no longer applies." He had me there. By the time the meeting was over, I felt like I had been to another school photo shoot. After all the work I put into Calvista, the big guy still saw me just as a kid and wanted me to move to the back row. I looked around the room as Dad and Hank and the other adults shook one another's hand. I wondered if the meeting would have gone better if I hadn't been the only kid there.